Minecraft developers informed us that this week we are not getting any new previews or betas for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. However, it is highly likely that next week we are going to be seeing the introduction of 1.19.10 for Minecraft Bedrock Edition and the very controversial version 1.19.1 for Java Edition. As it's noted on the official changelog last week, there will not be a preview/beta release for the week of July 4th, 2022. The developers, they're currently on a 1-week vacation. I've decided to just make an early video informing you some of the more important changes that will be introduced to Bedrock in 1.19.10. Now, when the update does drop, I will go over all the changes, but I just want to get you guys prepared. In 1.19.10, the Warden is a lot smarter, a lot harder, and more deadly. The first change we have here is the Warden can now path through lava and water. So let me show you this one because, again, players have been able to abuse the Warden if you have a water source and a Warden on the other side, which is covered by walls. Same applies to lava. We're just going to put him right here. He wouldn't path through the water, so if we go to /game mode S, start triggering him a little bit here, he will actually make his way over to you. It's not super fast. He will get angry, so he can maneuver his way through water now. You see here, there you go. Let's go to game mode creative, because I don't want to die by you. And the same rule does apply to lava. Let me show you this one also in action as well. So the Warden will make his way over to you. Now, you'll probably notice that he's incredibly slow on the lava. If there was more lava here, he would eventually just use the Sonic Boom attack. But you can see he's slowly making his way towards me. He knows exactly where I'm at. And there you go right there. Let's go back to creative before he kills me. But yeah, the Warden will actually make its way through lava and water. So make sure you're a little bit more careful when the next update releases. To me, this is the biggest change and very important. So, Warden Sonic Boom attack now bypasses enchantment damage reduction, such as protection. So, your protection armor is not going to save you anymore in 1.19.10. The Sonic Boom will do the exact same damage if you had this on, versus if you had just normal diamond armor. And I'm going to show you. Alright, so I've summoned the Warden. It's going to begin to chase me. What I want to do here is wait until we get the Sonic Charge. Just keep an eye on how much damage to my hearts the Warden does. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hearts of damage. 2 shots, 1 more, and I'm going to die here, by the way. Come on. I'm dead. Same thing applies. I've now got protection 4 on. We're going to game mode survival here. Again, it's going to do 5 hearts of damage once again. So, until this next update, Bedrock players have had it a little bit easier than Java players. But you guys will see that once this thing can't reach me, it's going to be like, alright, let's try the Sonic Boom attack. Doesn't matter how far away you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hearts of damage. So, yeah, that thing is evil. If you've had problems with the Warden not despawning in your world, no problem. It says here, if the Warden is in liquid when attempting to despawn, it will not do the digging animation. Instead, it will just despawn without any animation/sound. So if it's in lava, if it's in water, it just despawns now. Let's get ourselves the Warden. I've showed you this one before, but for those of you who had problems with it not despawning, let me show you how this works. And there you go. So as you know, the Warden usually digs down. Looks a bit weird when it was digging in water/lava, so they implemented that feature. Moving on to the allay. When an allay hears a jukebox playing, it will do a dancing animation. This is really, really cool. So if you have a music disc and an allay, and you play some music, begins to shake its head and dance. But it says if the allay is given an amethyst shard while dancing, it will play a small amethyst sound, make a heart, and duplicate into another allay. But they did go ahead and update this and say the allay duplication cooldown is now 5 minutes instead of 2.5, I believe. So we're going to do this. So if we have an allay, give it an item, doesn't duplicate. If we play music, right, and then put down an allay and give it this, it will duplicate. It will actually duplicate. So if we take this one away, this one's too far away to duplicate, so it does need to be, I think it's within 16 blocks. But this one's actually dancing, so if we give this one, it actually makes an amethyst sound and duplicates. Honestly, one of my favorite features that's going to be introduced in the next update. But great news, allays can now follow players through nether portals. In this next update, that also applies to all other mobs as well that you can tame. So obviously, we're just going to flex a little bit here. Allay, give it this. And we're just going to go in here, and they should all follow us, to be honest. Yeah, and there you go. So the allay and the allay made it through. If I'm honest with you, it's like they're already in here before I enter in here. But that's kind of the way they fixed these issues on Bedrock Edition. Just a heads up, Pocket Edition Bedrock players. New touch controls finally being added, and I put a question mark there. The reason why is because the new touch controls were actually implemented before the release of the last version. So I don't know if they're going to hold off on the touch controls once again. As you guys can see, and as you know, they are working on the new touch controls. They're not perfect, and something tells me that they might not be introduced in 1.19.10. But again, I could be completely wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but the new touch controls, if they are introduced, I imagine they're going to say it's not final and it's still a work in progress. But yeah, possibly new touch controls in 1.19.10. Moving on to Java parity features. Equipping items in armor slots now produces sounds. So there's two ways to show you this, guys, which I never knew was a thing, by the way. So if you have armor, listen to this, and you have it in your hotbar, your slots here. If we just equip this, you can hear sounds. Now, apparently that wasn't a thing previously. You can also hear it here. And you'll also hear it for pumpkins and your elytra as well. Although, didn't they remove that from Java in one of the snapshots? I can't remember. But that's a parity feature as well that has finally been introduced. Along with muddy mangrove roots are now broken fastest with a shovel. And also, mangrove roots are now broken fastest with an axe. So, /game mode survival. You want to break these things? Shovel is going to be your best friend. You want to break these, an axe is going to be your best friend. So in the meantime, it's been quite a little bit of pain for the Bedrock players to breaking these because there was no fastest method to do it. Now, those are also applying to the axe as well. So breaking the tree leaves, roots, get yourself an axe. It's going to be so much better. All right, this next change here is they've updated ancient city structures to match Java Edition. Let me show you that. Now, unfortunately, I know the majority of you have probably already loaded an ancient city in your world. It's actually missing one structure, and that structure is known as the campsite. And it's this one right here. This was missing on Bedrock Edition, which really, really sucks. Probably should have made it in the full release of 1.19.0. It was not available. I mean, it's not a big deal, but again, it's the overall Bedrock missing features again. So if you've loaded in your ancient cities, you're not going to have this so-called campsite. It's covered in wool. You've got logs. On occasions, you can get campfires as well. I don't know if there's anything else that can be found inside of here, but regardless, finally in 1.19.10, this is going to be available. Two more changes. Shulker projectile now adds the effect levitation instead of levitation 2 on hit. For Bedrock players, alongside Pufferfish now gives poison 2 effect instead of poison 4 when consumed. So, two big changes here. If we consume this, you'll see that we do get hit with the poison 2 and not 4. But again, it is going to be for 1 minute. But shulkers are less deadly now. Finally. So when we get hit with the projectile, it's instantly hit this. We get hit with just normal levitation rather than levitation 2. Have you ever been hit by these on Bedrock Edition? You end up really, really high in a very short period of time. So that is also going to be available in 1.19.10. A lot of improvements to the skulk blocks. This isn't all of them, but for example, the skulk block will now pick up when the drip leaf changes state. You can now get the skulk block to pick up vibrations when you till this, and even this. That being coarse dirt, regular dirt, grass path, etc. Now, a really, really good change here is that skulk blocks will not pick up players throwing wool blocks or carpets, or better yet, it will not pick it up if a player lands on a carpet or lands on a wool block. They're pretty good changes, so that's an advantage you're going to have when you're inside a deep dark. Along with the skulk block will actually pick it up when you drink milk. As you can see, a vibration was given. It will also pick up when an armor stand is given an item in its hand, as you can see there. When you stand on a skulk shrieker, it will permanently make the skulk shrieker sound. Just doesn't stop. Another change here is to do with the catalyst. So, when you have a catalyst, if a mob that doesn't drop XP dies by it, it will do the animation effect, but it will not spread the same way as when you kill a mob that does have XP. As you can see, the animation effect and also the skulk spread. Absolutely game changer for Bedrock Edition. / locate biome has been added, so we can locate, I'm just going to go for like an ice plains, for example. You can now locate biomes. It still needs a little bit of work, but it is finally coming in the next version, along with huge changes to spectator mode, such as players in spectator mode can now breathe anywhere. Moving around as a spectator will no longer affect players' hunger. Render only ahead for players in spectator mode. Render players in spectator semi-transparently. Players in spectator don't trigger raids while being in a village with the bad omen effect. While in spectator mode, actors in other chunks are no longer called. So, a few more changes here. Again, this is going to be constantly worked on. If we go and put down a couple of these here. So what this means is, if we then go to / game mode spectator, the pigs don't disappear. Basically, mobs in different chunks would disappear. Also, with just a floating head. Also, projectiles can now go through the floating head. And again, players can't see you. You're not affected by anything at all. Sorry if there's lagging though, because anytime I go to spectator mode or any game mode, the whole game kind of like reloads in a way. So yeah, spectator mode has been improved, but still needs work. This is a feature not a lot of people know about. Creator settings feature. So if we go to text, you can see it says chat and commands. If we then go into settings and scroll down to creator, turn this on, enable copy coordinate UI. So what this means is, if you are struggling to find your coordinates in chat, trying to TP somewhere, you can see your coordinates are up here. You can copy the coordinates and paste them in there. Huge change. You can change it to your position or block position. My position is a little bit more accurate compared to block position. Huge feature that nobody is talking about. Also, good new change is sweet berries can be placed on mud blocks, muddy mangrove roots, and rooted dirt. Wasn't possible previously. And an ironically weird change. Wooden tools can now be repaired using mangrove planks, crimson planks, and warped planks. Didn't know this was a feature, but anyway, you can put this inside of here with this and repair it with a mangrove one, and you can do it with a crimson one, and you can even do it with the warped one as well, although that's already fully healed. But yeah, that's a new feature. As if the Wither wasn't already deadly on Bedrock Edition, Wither now breaks obsidian when attacked by the player. So, I've set this up. We're gonna get ourselves inside of here real quick. We are gonna do / summon Wither. Summon the Wither there real quick. Gonna get myself back out of here. And what I need to do here is, if we get back in here and attack this thing just a couple of times. Yeah, it will destroy obsidian now. / difficulty peaceful. This guy will kill everything. So Bedrock withers, obsidian no longer saves you. Mangrove swamps are now denser to more closely match Java Edition. But it does say there is still work to be done to increase the density of mangrove trees in water. Probably not the best example here, but it is definitely a lot more denser than previously. It's still being worked on. To be honest with you though, I don't like them to be too dense because maneuvering through them could be an absolute pain. However, with one of the changes being that players can now break down these, I know I'm in creative, a lot easier with an axe, it should make things a little bit easier to maneuver. But the water is not as dense if you find a mangrove with a lot of water, that is. But yeah, definitely improved. Still not on par with Java Edition. Curious on your thoughts about this in the comments section. Parrots, once again, are poisoned by cookies. By the way, if you feed a cookie to a parrot on Java Edition, it dies instantly. On Bedrock Edition, you have to feed it like a few of them before it dies. So yeah, that's finally been added. And last but not least, added the player's cause of death to the screen. You've seen it once or twice in this one, but let me show you. / summon warden is a perfect example here. / game mode S. Come on. There you go. So it says you died. ECKOSOLDIER was slain by the warden. Let's do it one more time, but I want to show you what happens when it's like the electronically charged sonic boom attack. Come on. Come on, big guy. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. I think it's a one-shot kill, to be honest with you. One more. I've got no armor on. 5 is a surprise. One more. Come on. Hit me with it. One more time. And I'm dead. And it says, you died. Echo was obliterated by a sonically charged shriek while trying to escape. That's not all the features in 1.19.10, but that is definitely some important features. Stay tuned for next week because I will take the time to go through all of them, which I imagine is going to take me a very, very long time. But I'm here to keep you all updated. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next video.